Brandon Wilkins, former European Silver Medalist on the England karate team. I'm going to ask Brandon a few questions about his preparation and his training. What are your biggest struggles as an athlete for preparing for competitions like a European Championships?
I think the main one is probably time, having to juggle work, training, general life as a whole altogether throughout the week, day, month. It's just very difficult travelling again to all of these major events. You have to get here a certain time before to prepare, adjust to time differences, but again focus on the weight cut and everything. So it's a number of things, but the main thing that I think it boils down to is time management for part of it, to be able to balance each individual aspect of your preparation down to the specific millimetre or second. Is one of the main
So
ones.
it's hard to, as an elite athlete that's non-funded, against countries that are fully funded athletes, to try and balance a work life, because you work, don't you? And actually, like you said, try and be at peak performance, because we've had discussions before. We know it's all about those little 1%, and it's not ideal for you when you're coming out to a country that's 20 degrees and we've only had 12 degrees in the last few weeks. So I think people at home can recognise that there's a few problems just from that. But on a karate sense as well for you, how do you places to train? Because obviously everyone's so split up over the country and we train in different ways. We haven't got a funded place where you can all go. How do you find sparring partners and the rest of those kind of things?
That again is another difficult spot for me, especially at my current club. It's myself, my partner and my brother, so we're the three elite performers at the club. So it's just we're training with each other almost day in, day out. When we're training together, we know each other's style, we know each other's techniques, so there's not much adaptation from everyone. So we're all quite set in our ways of how each individual fights. But when we come out to these events, other countries have such depth in their countries. They have a kicker, they have a sweeper, they have a brawler, like someone who's not afraid to fight it out till the death. And then you've got people that are really composed, really patient. So that's another, finding the balance of different matchups in England is a struggle, because I think everyone's so set on doing one thing. And that adaptation, not just in training but out here in these fights, we see people that go down in 1-0, 2-0 or 3 or 4, 5-0, and they can still maintain a level head the whole way through. And
going on from that, would you agree now the way that karate has progressed and it keeps progressing is it's not enough to be good at karate? You've got to be an athlete.
No,
it's not just one with technique. It's a game of chess out there tactically, but everyone out there can clash 5-6 techniques at a time, break off, carry on. And that's obviously not always the competition level that you have in England. Do you find not having the support of strength and conditioning coaches, physios for injuries, because I know you've had injuries, do you find that's something that's hard to self-manage?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the minor margins that I feel like myself personally are missing out on. The injury prevention, the strength, not necessarily nutrition, because my weight cut isn't major, but I still think, although it's not a major impact on me, I think even if it had the tiniest little adjustment, would then make me perform better while I'm out here. So it's taking them little bits that we know how to do. It's just being able to manage it and put the time and effort into that specific part.
And someone who has performed at the highest level and has proven to everyone that you can do it, I guess for you now it's the consistency of trying to do that regularly against people who have those facilities on tap. It's not easy for people like yourself. But moving on to the next championships, have you got something that you want to be working towards? Is there anything you want to change, or is it more of the same?
I think for me it's not necessarily the actual karate that needs to change, because my techniques are good. I'm not coming out to these events and I'm not scoring points. I'm coming out, I'm scoring, I'm competing with these individuals that are fully funded, don't have to worry about external pressure or anything like that. So I think it's about getting the small minor adjustments, S&C, nutrition, injury prevention, a bit more tactics from coaches, which will help myself, and I know a few others in England that will benefit.
It sounds like a good plan. I mean, looking externally from here, it's creating a team around yourself that allows you to perform. and tracking all those things to the best of your abilities obviously difficult because you're self-funded, and that's something that until the sport finds some external funding, there's going to be limits. But I think that's where, from my opinion, and it's nice to hear from you as well, that externally looking from the outside in, for people like yourself who are training really, really hard, they just need some help with those other areas to create a well-rounded performance. And you're so close to doing that, but the consistency is the hard thing. So I think if you can implement some of that, hopefully we'll be stood here next time you have a medal back around your neck.
Fingers crossed.
Just generally for everyone as well, as a bit of a kind of a fun thing, because obviously there's going to be some younger people out there that haven't got to the point yet where they're needing to focus on that kind of performance level. What's your main reason that keeps bringing you back? Like, what do you enjoy about being at these championships?
I think for me, it's the whole vibe. I love a fight. I'm not afraid to get in there and tear it up if I need to.
As we saw literally on the other
saw
day.
the other day. So that's the exciting thing. And again, you see all the team morale and the support that these other countries have when someone's in a tough spot. Everyone gets behind them. Like when we've just seen in the team event down there, the girls were in a tough spot with Slovenia, took it to the third man, and we pulled it out of the bag and won 8-1.
Yeah.
And the reason that was possible is because we had the whole team right by the mat almost, supporting, and that's where I think in England especially, I think the younger under 21s lack that support because not many of them transition into seniors and flip between the both. Whereas you see Italy, France, Turkey, the under 21 squad are almost here now, Ukraine as well. So they're doing the senior events and the under 21s, and they can transition the experience from the seniors into the under 21s, and that's why they're way ahead of the under 21s.
That's interesting, and it is great to see that togetherness that was proven today, and some great performances. So if we can try and get people in England working together, obviously we have to fight each other. I think the word that has been used a few times, and I know Natalie Williams for sure has used this, is frenemies. It's probably something that we need to work around, is how we can support each other when we're not on the mat, but obviously when it's showtime you guys do what you do. But thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you with a medal around your neck soon.
That's the plan.
So